and maybe this is because I am deluded enough to believe that a man clutching a rare volume is somehow, if only for seconds at a time, bestowed with a pedigree. It is not how one feels holding a box of cereal. It might be said one can sell them both. The book world is, however, a world in which one might keep one's face. There are less dignified ways to survive, some of them so ghastly the world of the bookseller is by comparison effete. I am, by choice, maybe temperament too, a factotum in the book trade. The tough business end of things has been for others to administrate. I envy them not. I have a phobia for window envelopes. Columns with numbers in them terrify me. Amazingly, over a passage of 45 years, I have got away with being close to innumerate, which is something of an achievement in the world of sales. I can translate Roman numerals into Arabic, however, and I know which way up a book sits in the hand, and on a good day I can even alphabetize. What more can anyone want to ask of me? I have always been at the service of other people, which, for those wanting a satellite reading of where I stand, is the position from whence these words come, the ticklish underbelly of the trade. I have been invited to write a memoir of my working life, from a crouching angle and not from some elevated place. The factotum, as watcher, spook, chronicler of the mundane. I resisted, I pleaded. I said I would rather not produce a sedative. Many such books are. The dedicatee of this book, who may be its only reader, if so, it's plenty enough for me, after over half a decade of petitioning has finally worn me down. This book is his to do with as he likes. So, what am I to say of it all? What should my approach be? What at first I figured would be a breeze now weighs heavily on me. Can I remember anything, or, more to the point, is what I remember reliable? We fabricate our own lives, which is not to say we falsify them, but that with respect to the present, the past is always shaped by it. It's the mold in which the jelly's made. There again, I know things nobody else does, and so that raises the question of how much I should divulge of a world reputed for its touchiness. The book trade is naturally secretive, even when it pretends otherwise. What one might think is an open book is actually a closed one. The reason is simple. One does not want to reveal the identities of one's sources, one's customers, or where the next big buy will be. As gossip is the bastard child of secrecy, there's no end to the wagging of tongues. I've never known a bookseller whose ears do not perk up at news of a close neighbor's infelicities. Maybe it's because he knows he might be next in line. And yet, try and get him to speak into a microphone, he'll send you on a wild goose chase. The bookseller is a master of deflection, so I'm largely on my own with this one. I don't want to get bogged down in shop talk, or matters of points and issues, or auction rings, or 1,000 other things that seem to fascinate other booksellers because they bore me silly, and if the writer is bored, chances are he will bore. There'll be no yeast in the prose. A young woman I spoke to about this, who paints her face in all the primary colors, such that at the sight of her the traffic either breaks or accelerates. When I expressed my doubts about writing this book, she said to me, "Go on, young people love reading about old white men selling books." She's all sass, Natalie. She used to work for the children's bookshop next door and was ousted for thinking she is worth as much as she believes she is. I'm sure she's right. But she ought to have known her boss would care not a jot for her vision of how things should be. She ought to have known there are 100 people waiting to fill her shoes. There is any number of willing human sacrifices. Anyhow, Natalie rules the world with her rainbow face. Will she, though, ever rule herself? Yes, she will. She's got talent in abundance, which at present she is either loath or fearful to put into practice. She tells me she's working on a graphic novel, or what Lind Ward...